The next question now from Deputy Fiona O'Loughlin.
And the question that I want to put the Minister now is in relation to the position with regard to the provision of mediation for English language school teachers, and if you'll make a statement on the matter.
Mr. Mitchell.
So you do know, and I know, and I want to just pay tribute to you for your work that you do in the Education Committee. But you do know that we are bringing that through the QQA at the moment, and you also know that very well that English language teaching is hugely important to Ireland, and it's hugely important to the students that come here to study as well, to ensure that they get a really good experience and that they get quality teaching and quality learning. So to this end, we want to make sure also then that teachers are qualified, that teachers are treated properly, and that they're treated fairly and consistently by their employers. So to this end, and I have recently appointed Mr. Patrick King, the former General Secretary of the Association of Secondary Teachers, an ASTI, as a mediator for the sector. And Mr. King is meeting with the employers and the employee representative bodies to identify and to discuss relevant issues. I've recently written out to 119 of such schools, inviting them to meet with Mr. King. So his objective now is to explore whether there is a scope for a set of minimum employment standards that would be agreed for the sector. And I suppose what I'm talking there is about REAs. So these efforts, I do believe, complement what I'm doing in the Dáil Éireann there just before Christmas, to do with the qualifications and quality assurance bill, amendment bill. And you know, we did that just before Christmas, and we've now a date set in early February to go back into the Dáil again. Just for the interested parties that might be listening in, and as I said, we've written to them, we are encouraging them to make submissions with their views of relevant issues that will assist the mediator in his work, and a dedicated email address is now open to receive submissions, and that is to ele mediation@education.gov.ie. So I really want to wish Pat King very well in his work, and I would encourage all relevant stakeholders to engage meaningfully with Mr. King.
Thank you,
it's in all of our interests now to strengthen the quality of English language provision in Ireland.
Thank you, Minister, and thank you for your kind words in relation to the work that we do at the committee, and for your update in relation to the area of mediation. We have to acknowledge that the whole English language teaching sector has been blighted over the last number of years, with many schools, sorry, I shouldn't say many, with some schools closing down overnight without any notice, impacting on vulnerable students, who many of them in a situation then with very poor English and having paid very significant fees to those particular schools, and also absolutely in relation to the teachers that were there, and particularly when we look even early December, only a month ago, in relation to Grafton College, where 35 teachers were left without jobs and 20 teachers didn't actually get even their previous pay into their bank account. So it's a very, very difficult situation. You mentioned the QQI bill, Minister, and you know, and I accept that it has gone, you know, it is before the Senate, but certainly within my own party, we're not happy that we're not having stakeholder, there isn't stakeholder engagement in relation to it, and this did come up at our Education Committee also, that we absolutely would prefer to have a situation where we would have stakeholder engagement in relation to this particular bill.
I apologise to you before, because that was a mistake made with the department during August, so apologies for that. I just want to say to you, I suppose, I mean, I was really shocked with what happened with Grafton, what happened with the students, though they did come under the Students' Assistance Fund, but also what happened to teachers. And that's why I really pushed with my officials, and who I want to thank, that we put this together, that we have now engaged Mr. Pat King, and I am confident that at least now, there is a mediation process, and I really would ask now the schools and the people that own the schools to engage, because if we have a quality product, that will only help all the various stakeholders. And I mean, it is embarrassing for Ireland to see schools go to the wall and see schools fail. We don't want that to happen. We want to have, as I said, a quality product for our students, and then I want to ensure that teachers teaching there know that they will be paid, knows that there is proper financials behind a school, because at the moment we're not sure of that. So all of that will happen during now the QQA bell. I'm bringing in the international education mark, and for a school to get an international education mark, they will have to show their books, they will have to show the background of the school, and we'll be, I think, altogether more confident in what's happening.
Deputy O'Loughlin.
Thank you, Minister, and I agree with you absolutely that engagement is absolutely crucial, and that we have as much engagement as possible to make sure that we have a good bill that, when it passes into legislation, will protect the students and protect the teachers. I just want to acknowledge, obviously, the inclusion of a fund in the bill to protect the pupils of language schools who may find themselves out of pocket as a result of such a closure. And Unite have proposed that a similar teacher protection fund be introduced to protect teachers in the event that a school closes, and this would address loss of wages and the loss of employment for teachers in a situation where the school closes down, particularly in relation to Grafton, where it was just literally 2 weeks before Christmas. And this fund would deal with a specific instance where a school has not followed procedure, and as a result employees are not able to make an application to the insolvency fund, and that's really important. So I just want to ask you, Minister, has this issue been examined in relation to the provision of such a fund which would protect teachers as well as protecting students? Thank you.
Mr. Mitchell O'Connor, to conclude, please.
Thank you very much. Look, what's happening now at the moment, there's a mediator appointed, and all the various issues will be looked at and see what we can come up with. It's the very first time in this sector that we have sent in a mediator, and all around, as I said, the REAs maybe to put that in place, and that's what I think will absolutely transform the sector.